Oh, okay, sorry about that. We just had a technical issue with Suzu crashing, but we're good now. So, show is starting now. I'll just try to fix everything. We're live! Okay. Welcome to Claws and Convo, the show that breaks itself constantly and doesn't give a damn. At least remember them. I just had a problem with Ustream Producer crashing, which is the program that handles all the shots and makes it go to Ustream. And now now you can see the camera's dark because it completely forgot how to camera. So. But anyway, I'm your host, Striker Chiguire, and as you can see, Dante Padfoot is not with us today because he is not well. The dinner he had last night is not agreeing with him, so yeah. Anyway, so yeah, what are we on? This is like episode 15 already. Hard to believe. 16 actually. Episode 16. We've been doing this for what, 6 months? That's insane. Hard to believe we've been around this long. And we still don't know what we're doing. So. Yes. Indeed, I have to reproduce the producer. Giggity. Yes. It's going to take me like 10 billion hours to redo all this, but hey, that's kind of what you gotta deal with when you're dealing with live broadcasting. Stuff breaks, and you gotta fix it. But we'll do it anyway, because I don't care. So, yesterday, rather, there's a little bit of drama at work, which I had no part in, and I just kind of ended up walking in on it, and it's all that he said, she said bullshit going on. It's one thing I just absolutely hate, I had to put up with an hour of not being able to get to work because of stuff. But don't even want to talk about it. I have no idea what's going on, and quite frankly, I don't really care. But once that was over with, everything went pretty well. I had a pretty good day once that was blown over. And it was actually physically demanding. And I like doing stuff that's physically demanding and actually, I gotta fix this camera. I gotta fix this exposure because it's freaking annoying. Source settings. Gotta fix this now. Before I'll freaking lose my mind. Sun keeps coming up and going down. Pro tip: if you plan to do a live broadcasting, I would advise using a room that either has no windows or has windows behind the camera and really good blinds, because these blinds kind of suck. Also helps to have a good camera. Yeah. Okay, okay, now I can actually get into stuff.
This is my 4th year in the furry fandom, and I'm grateful to you that you have kept me on as your leader.
I'm not counting, and when I say how many episodes we've been on, I'm not counting the half episodes. But, yeah, this is the 6th month of being on the air. which is kind of a milestone, if you think about it. So, we've gone a long way.
The dark nights in which this shop was wrecked, offering encouragement, critiques, and ideas during the long evenings that we spent creating this album. You offered camaraderie
anyway,
and support.
like I said, so usually we have me and Dante, but Dante is not well. He's in the other room on the couch, incapacitated, watching Hitchcock.
And I salute you. To all of you shop records that are here via Twitter, having seized upon the newest phenomenon in online social
Oh yeah, of course.
establishing furry domination of
An actual
yet another
control
medium
room and
communication.
fancy
You've been there in ways
$1 million worth of
before. As the shop has become
crap
more
would
hectic,
really help this
life's
stuff,
become
but
so busy that I would forget to
we're
even
not.
sleep at times.
We're broke.
You kept me sane with your conversation and humor
Give us
and
money.
kindness, 140 characters at a time. And I salute you.
Monster.
To all of you that are here
If anyone works for Monster,
my very
if
first
anyone's in the
album
marketing
that I
for
entered
Monster,
back in 2005,
give us money.
knowing no one
Now.
in the fandom, having no idea what I've been
We're
missing
drinking
all
your
those
product
years.
live. Give us
You
money.
were the first to accept me. As we followed
Yeah.
each other's lives, you have displayed friendship amidst the confusion
I'm not
and
as entertaining on my own.
rough times that I've had over the
I'm
last
not
4
the
years,
actor.
and yet you remain the single
Really.
largest community of shop wreckers. And I
But
salute
I digress.
each and every one of you. To all of you shop records that are here via Fur Affinity, where I first dared to post a song, not knowing how it would be received. You have offered tremendous
that?
support, encouragement,
Yeah, I
and
can-
motivation to not give up,
It's not hooked
to
up,
continue
but
to strive, confident that this shop can become better, one submission at a time. For that,
okay. So Dante is standing in the doorway. He seems to be feeling well enough to do something. So can you do a dance? Oh, well, dancing caused you to vomit in my face.
And you have helped to inspire others to
We're going
follow.
to get your microphone.
Fursuit musicianship has greatly advanced into an art form in itself thanks to you. And we all salute you. All over the internet, we have built a strong community of friends and like-minded individuals, sharing experiences and ideas with each other from Second
Alright,
Life
so,
to
yeah.
Notcast
So
to
he's
Fur
gonna be
Life
able to
and
do this for a
beyond.
little while.
We have come together to create one of the fastest growing and most well-known fandoms in existence, where those who have encountered us agree that we are some of the most friendly and down-to-earth people they've ever met. And this is becoming our
You want to hear what's?
trademark.
Do you want to
We
hear
are
yourself,
becoming
or
ambassadors for the anthropomorphic community to the world.
do you not care?
And I salute you for furthering and giving back to
Okay.
our community of friends
That's my
in
job
such
anyway.
a way. And as
Okay.
such, to all of my friends who have supported me over the past 4 years, to my family who has loved me and cared for me throughout, to my lovely Linus who has been
Check
there for
one,
me and still
two.
is.
You're
To
good.
Looks like
everyone
it's
who has
working.
aspired to
Yep.
give back to
Hi,
their fellow
guys.
creatures,
What's
human
going
and
on?
otherwise. To all
Welcome
of our
to
friends who
Claws and
have gone before
Convo,
us,
the show
and to all
that
of the wonderful people of Shop
I don't know. What did you say earlier?
I salute
That
you.
that breaks
It is to
itself.
you
That breaks
that I
itself.
Constantly.
dedicate this album. Thank you.
Anyways, I am your
Each and every one of you.
very, very ill host, Dante Padfoot. I'm sorry that I wasn't here during the intro. I guess Striker already told you guys. Did you tell them what happened to me?
I just said you ingested something that didn't agree with you.
Well, I think it's only fair that we're honest with our fans. Well, last night I kind of overdosed on marijuana, and I had a near-death experience.
You're probably too hard, man.
It was pretty traumatizing, and I can't tell if my body is either just in shock or just recovering from it. You know.
You see, this is why you grow your own. Seriously.
Whatever I had was way stronger than what we thought it was. Like, that's the reason that I overdosed, is because
That wasn't pure.
it wasn't.
You were hallucinating. Yeah, marijuana normally doesn't do that.
I do know that marijuana has THC in it, which, you know, is a mild version of acid, basically.
Yeah.
And if you ingest enough of it, it basically does the same thing as acid. So,
Yeah.
essentially, I was on acid.
So maybe it had some seeds in there or
Something.
something.
You know, Rachel, you know, my friends, Rachel, who's been on here before, China Rose, her and my sister and Andrew Kesey, my best friends in the world, took care of me last night. It was great. And, you know, Rachel said, you know, we're me and Rachel, by the time I was back here, I was sober enough to think. I was actually thinking clear thoughts. I was like, I'm trying to figure out what was in that stuff. You know, we were thinking it was acid or, you know, and, you know, she was like, it probably was laced with cocaine or something like that. Like, that's the only explanation. But turns out, we figured out, like, this happens when your body's not used to it and you just ingest too much, and, you know, you're basically the same thing as acid, really. So my body just overreacted, you know.
You just had too much.
I did. Well, I'll definitely be more careful in the future. The problem is I never intended to go this far, like, you know, the whole thing with marijuana. I never considered it a big part of my life. You know, I'm just like, oh, now and then I'll just, you know, smoke a blunt or something. But this was way too far. I never even imagined this happening, you know.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm really glad that I'm okay. Really glad that I'm okay.
You're alive.
Thank you. Thank you for the support. But yeah, the show must go on, so I think I'm feeling good enough that I can start doing stuff, and I can pull up my iPod and read you guys some news. So,
And I actually got a news article on here.
oh, cool.
So we'll just go ahead and jump right into it.
Okay. Do you want to read it, or do you want me to read it?
I'll get it. Here it's
Okie doke.
bumpers. There we go. This is Claws and Compound News with your anchors, Dante Padfoot and Striker Chiguire. On this episode, an ape rescues a child who has fallen into a zoo pit. See, I'm not as good as that. And no, Hementide, it didn't come from a horse.
Thank you
But
for
thanks,
that.
but thank you for your concern. So anyway, this is actually on a Facebook page called I Fucking Love Science. I posted this yesterday. It says a gorilla by the name of Benito Wa, or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce
Whatever
Spanish.
it is.
Something Spanish. A western lowland female gorilla who resides in Brookfield Zoo in Illinois. On August 16th, 1996, a 3-year-old boy climbed the wall around her enclosure and fell in, slamming his head onto the concrete 18 feet below.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a long fall. Head first, anyway.
Ooh, yikes. Yeah, definitely.
The blow wounded him unconscious, caused him to bleed excessively from his and broke his hand. Benita approached the boy and growled when another female attempted to inspect him. She cradled him as she would a gorilla infant and carried him to the enclosure entrance 60 feet away, enabling the zoo staff to retrieve him. Her own infant clutched to her back throughout the incident. The child spent 4 days in hospital and recovered fully. It's been debated amongst primatologists as to whether this behavior was a result of training or behavior. Beniti was specially trained to care for her infant, and so it's possible that this behavior was simply an extension of that. Other experts cite her as an example of empathy in animals. Similar situations have occurred before. A male gorilla, Jumbo, of Jersey Zoo, protected and cared for a 5-year-old child who fell into his enclosure.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of this stuff happening before. I'm just glad the kid is okay.
Yeah.
Especially like a fall from, did you say 15 feet and landed on
15
the concrete
feet.
on his head?
More or
Ooh,
less.
doggy. Bob Saget, that's a long fall for... I mean, I'm surprised he didn't die
What's
of head
your
injuries
language?
alone.
Bob Saget.
But I'm surprised that he didn't die, just from the head trauma. That's pretty insane. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I've like I said, I'm just glad that kid is okay. Is there any other stuff we got going on though with the news?
That's all I have at the moment.
Because I'm usually the guy that looks for news stories. So I haven't been able to do anything in the past 24 hours.
You're still a bit too stoned for news.
It's my body's still fighting to get rid of whatever is left in me. So,
as I check, I'm checking the Strike Paw subreddit.
All right. Do we have any emails today?
Good question. I haven't checked that yet.
I haven't even thought of a discussion topic. Shame on me.
Oh, whatever.
We'll think of something.
YOLO.
We'll use me as an example of what you can do if you ingest too much marijuana.
There you go.
But yeah, anyways, I've been watching Alfred Hitchcock Presents a lot. That's kind of been calming me down. It's one of my favorite shows that I used to watch with my dad almost every night. Because they would air it on our local, because we've never had cable. Back when I used to live, down in Cambria, before I moved up here for college, I would watch that with my dad because we never had cable. And they would always, broadcast it over, some local station, stuff like that. So I get to watch that with my dad most every night, and I like to watch it either when I'm sick or when I just need to relax. It's very soothing. I love that show. I love everything Alfred Hitchcock ever does. I'm a huge fan of his. So, I enjoy watching that show. Basically, it's just a bunch of short stories. They're not written by Alfred Hitchcock. What he does is, it has that iconic music, the da 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 da, which I'm sure you heard out there. I don't know if you could hear it with the headphones though.
A little bit,
but it's a very good show. It's on Netflix. I'd recommend anyone that's interested in Alfred Hitchcock to check it out if you've never seen it. So we've got Nicholas
Mika watching this show with us.
Okay.
We're talking about doing an interview with him.
Ooh,
I
cool.
guess.
So is this an artist in the family?
He's the guy that's been helping Hematite with fursuits.
Oh, cool. All right.
So,
well, yeah, it'd be cool if we could get an interview from him and just ask him a couple questions.
Yeah.
We could get his opinion on some of the biggest discussion topics we've talked about. Because one of the things I like to ask people is the town made completely out of furries. I always like to ask somebody new that question, what do you think of that idea? Because it's something we could pass around.
That's going to be our standard question for our interviewees.
And there's a few things that we could ask them, some of the discussion topics we've gone really deep into, what would you think? Oh, there's also the magic button question that we did a long time ago.
Magic button, yes.
The button that you press that permanently turns you into an anthropomorphic animal.
Yes.
And that one, we like to ask new people that question, or at least we should in the future, because I always like to get people's opinions on that, and we can tell them what we've discussed so far, because we went into discussion about this very topic and said, how would the public perceive anthropomorphic animals? And I think I'd do it depending on... My answer was I think I'd do it depending on how many other people did it, because then there'd be a community of us instead of just one person alone. But, we could throw around a couple of circumstances, what if you really were alone? then what would you say to that?
Well, if I was alone and I was an anthro, I still think that would be kind of pretty awesome.
Yeah. I think
Even though I'd have to, like, from that point on, all of my chairs and my gloves and clothing and stuff like that would have to be custom ordered. That would get rather expensive.
Oh yes. And you would shed fur on like every couch you sit on.
Yes. Yes.
Pretty soon they'd be like, no pets allowed, and they'd be like, well, you can't come in here because you're pretty much, you got all the reasons why we don't like pets, like the fur and stuff like that. So they wouldn't allow you into stores and stuff like that. Well, I don't know. It depends.
I can operate a vacuum cleaner. That's
good enough.
You bigoted bastards.
But I think I would also do it if I was alone, because then, I could have people. I would allow people to run tests on me and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think I would let people do that, and it would be a huge advancement in science and stuff like that. They could figure out how it happened. Which, I mean, this sounds very, very fantasy-like, but imagine if it really did happen. Then you could say, well, then science would, be studying it and trying to figure out how it worked. So I always thought, yeah, I did think about this for a while. I thought, I probably would do it. So that's something we can always ask the interviewees.
Yeah.
If we ever get interviews on here. Say if we did have an interview segment, would you want to do it at like right before the discussion topic or right after, like at the very end of the show?
I don't care.
I'm just wondering.
Just whenever.
Just poking an idea out there. I don't know. I'm very serious about the organization of the schedule of the show, I guess. Like we used to, for those of you who've seen the earlier episodes, do you remember we used to have something called Story Time? That was a long time ago.
That was like 6 months to be exact.
That was the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was anyway.
Yeah, it was January was when we first started.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe it's been that long. Like it feels like we just get up and do the show every week. I can't believe it went by so fast, And I really do appreciate all you loyal viewers, out there. Hematite Bear especially for your support for us. It really means a lot when you guys continue to watch the show and support us. It really makes us want to keep going, knowing that there's people enjoying it out there. So, props to you guys.
Yes.
I heard you talking about Monster sending us money.
Yeah. They need to. I'm always high on stuff every time I come on here. So.
But yeah, that I always thought that'd be an interesting concept if someone from Monster ever did see that and be like, you've been endorsing us ever since you started, just whether you realize it or not, just by having the Monster can on the show. So I always thought that was great.
Unauthorized product placement.
Send us money.
Send us your money and your firstborn for sacrifice.
Your firstborn. Oh man.
You think I'm joking? I'm joking. Or am I? Not
so
really.
I heard about
But
some
I
kind
am.
of controversy at work, did you say? I
Oh,
only heard a little piece of it.
Oh, it's just your standard drama. He shed, she shed, and the supervisors or just one person, there were a couple of people, and I just walked in on sort of a thing.
Oh. What, were people yelling at each other or something?
It was just someone was getting chewed out. Yeah, I'm not going to name names or anything.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm just going to leave it at that because that's kind of how the drama began in the first place. He said, she said, blah 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 blah. Bullshit.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff happens at workplaces. It really bugs me. Didn't you say you were at a packing plant or something like that?
It's a workshop down there in Bloomfield.
Because I remember you saying something about that. I forgot specifically what it was.
Just basically stuff like, and one day we might put together cardboard spindles. Another day we might put some rubber gaskets into PVC caps.
Oh, I see.
Or just taking PVC pipes and putting them into sealing them in a plastic bag or something.
I see.
Or just baling cardboard for recycling.
Yeah, we used to do the baling cardboard when I used to work at a grocery store. We were one of the old-fashioned grocery stores.
You still work at a grocery store. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, but like the one that I used to work at down in Sheraton before I moved here, I still work at the same company, but I worked for a different, like a outdated store, one that still had the thing where we had to hand tie the bales of cardboard. Like we had a compressor and it would come out and we had to do it ourselves.
Well, what do you do with it now?
With this store, we have like a gigantic compressor, that just spits all the bales out and stuff. So all we have to do is just throw them down a chute, but so
we basically just use an older, just regular baler.
Yeah.
Crushing, packs them down, and the cable and the wire just run through the thing and tie it on.
Yeah, that's essentially what we did.
Spits it out.
Then we'd pick up the bale and bring it outside and wait for somebody to, collect it. And sometimes you'd go outside in the back and see a huge row, like an absolutely massive row of bales that took up the entire length of the parking lot. It was pretty crazy. And I think they only collect it once a month.
In my work, it literally fills an entire building from the floor to the ceiling.
Oh man,
it's basically recycling for this local school district and stuff like that. Another branches of the company that runs the workshop.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that's it's quite a lot of bales there.
Yeah.
But I had a fun week, I guess. Let's see. I remember that I had a fun week, but I'm still having trouble remembering everything right now. So I'm trying to.
You had too much of a fun week. Essentially,
I had too much of a fun week. Well, I just went to graduation. Kenny Grimm, i.e. Liam Wolf, just graduated from Indian Hills for criminal justice, and he's looking for a job now, and I'm happy for him. Another one of my good friends, Rachel Cobbler, who's a different Rachel. Sometimes we have trouble, mixing them up and stuff like that. But Rachel Cobbler was another one of my close friends that graduated. Let's see who else. I know Mason did, but who cares about Mason?
Whatever.
Anyways, yeah, it was a pretty eventful week for me, I guess. Had my finals. That was real fun. I mean, for those of you who have ever been to college, you know how finals are. And that's all my friends and I have been, we've barely been able to hang out because all we've been thinking about is, are we going to get the finals turned in on time and, all this stuff. And that's all we've been thinking about during the week. So I guess you could say it was a fun week, but it was also a very stressful week. So, do we have any emails?
No emails today.
We do not.
We have nothing.
Shame on you guys. So
I did have a little bit of fun last night.
Oh, you did?
Had probably one of the best games of PlanetSide 2 I've ever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got invited. I was playing on the on I think Waterson server, I think it was. Yeah, and under my character. My character there is Spotcat Revenge.
Oh wow!
But
Spotcat Revenge.
Yes,
that's amazing.
Well, anyway, I got invited to a platoon, and it was epic. It was a battle of Amrish, and it was insane.
Basically everything,
and it was awesome.
Nice. Basically everything that PlanetSide 2 is meant to be, right?
Yes.
That's the same thing happens with like
and the server was going perfectly. I had no lag.
Oh, nice.
And it was like played till like 1 in the morning, from like 5 in the afternoon to 1 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
It was epic.
Sounds epic. But yeah, that's pretty awesome when you, like, I used to do this with Halo 3 a lot, where I would get a group of people together and we'd just start doing stuff that would make the entire night worth playing. It was pretty fun. And little moments like that are what make online gaming really fun, you know.
And I actually got to use some of the weapons they got for our Galaxy and the new buggy, the Harasser.
Nice.
I got a rocket launcher on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. That's so cool.
I completely we were just destroying everything.
That's insane. Yeah, I did very much enjoy playing PlanetSide 2, but I've always played a lot more Team Fortress 2, and I guess Team Fortress 2, there's been a lot of moments like that where you get a bunch of people together and you all start to essentially destroy everything there is to be destroyed on the server. It makes you feel so awesome. And like I said earlier, little moments like that are what make online gaming really fun.
Yeah.
You'll be looking, people will be like, oh, why do you like this game so much? You'll be like, oh, you haven't experienced it like I have, So, a bunch of things like that. I've always had an appreciation for online gaming. I think I need to get into it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, yeah, you do.
You need to get on PlanetSide 2 and get in this other server that I'm on.
I don't know.
I need to get it. I need to get it on into an outfit there.
I guess I've mostly been too busy with real life. As much as I hate to say it, real life is boring. Well, hanging out with people, meeting new people. That's all I ever do up here. So I never really have time for all this stuff that I used to, have time for all the time. Time for all the time. That's funny.
You know what? You should come down and visit me, and I'll let you use my laptop, and we'll have a little LAN party, and we'll play PlanetSide 2 all night long.
That sounds pretty cool. I'll see if I can find the time for that. Today I was actually I actually had an appointment at the bank down in Sheraton to sign some paperwork for a loan application, because I needed a little bit of money to get a car that I'm getting soon, and I'm going to be paying it off. And my appointment was today, like this morning, but I couldn't go obviously because I couldn't even drive. And my sister was like, "Oh, I'll drive you," and all this stuff, and I was like, I can't even,
I can't even use a pen. I forgot how to write.
Yeah, I could barely even use a pen. I just got up, and the only thing that called me there, is that good enough for you? I could barely turn on the Netflix to watch Alfred Hitchcock. So, but yeah, like I said, watching Alfred Hitchcock always calms me down.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
Oh my word!
Don't forget to bring a towel. Maybe I can just get a little high.
I love South Park. Another thing I've been doing. Oh yeah, I learned how to play so many new songs on the guitar. I learned how to play "Rolling in the Deep" by Adele.
Nice.
And my friend Andrew Kesey is like really big in Adele, and so am I. And he actually sang that at a jazz festival. He has a really good voice. Like, he sang it, almost as well as Adele did, Adele herself. So now Andrew and I can perform this at campfires. It's going to be fun. And
nice.
It's going to be great. Learned how to play. I don't know if anyone has heard of it. Maybe Hematite will have heard of this. Does anyone know about the band Bread from the 1970s? Have you ever heard of them?
No, I have not.
They're one of the softer rock bands, softer folk rock bands from the 1970s. My parents were real big into them, and I've always liked them. They did this song, I'd like to make it with you, really beautiful song. I learned how to play that.
When I'm thinking about learning this one right. So play.
What is it?
It's Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden.
Oh, I love Iron Maiden. Very nice, very nice.
Yes.
I think I've heard the song before. I don't know. I'm still very delusional. So.
And you can't hear it.
Yeah, and I can't hear it. You never know, I might have supersonic hearing. I'm a fox after all.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, it sounds pretty familiar. I think I've heard that song before. I have listened to Iron Maiden before. They were the definitive metal band from the 80s.
They still are the definitive metal band.
True dat. I guess I've always liked see another metal band is really good. Led Zeppelin wouldn't be considered metal; they'd be considered, hard rock. But obviously,
they had a significant role in the evolution of metal.
Yes, they did. In fact, everybody that ever sings a metal song owes everything to Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath was metal back in the day.
Metal. They basically, I heard this story. Little history lesson for you guys when it comes to music. The only reason they had that sound, Black Sabbath, was the first one that actually had that deep guitar sound and the rock opera type thing. One of the members, he injured his hand and he tuned. I think that's what happened anyway.
Yeah, and
he tuned his guitar down so it was easier for him to play it, and they ended up liking the sound.
Yeah. And interesting fact, he actually had to tape thimbles to his fingers in order to play.
Yeah, that I also heard about that. I always thought that was really interesting. The invention of metal was basically by accident. And of course there was songs that had a slightly metal sound. Like if you listen to "You Really Got Me" by the Kinks, that was the first mainstream song that had a metal sound to it, but it wasn't the definitive sound. Like it was just, it had a slightly, because there was, metal was a word. I think the word was coined. The phrase heavy metal was coined by Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
And that was right before Black Sabbath. But they didn't really define.
In the line that went, "Heavy metal thunder."
Heavy metal thunder. Yeah,
referring to a motorcycle.
Oh yes,
of course.
But there were mainstream songs that had the metal sound to them, just very slightly. But when Black Sabbath came along, they really defined what it was. Like they really brought it out. They brought out what metal really is, and there was little hints of it before, but they didn't go off of that. They basically reinvented what the idea of metal was, and that's what we understand that metal is today. It was pretty neato. I always thought that was very interesting. There's a lot of little stories like that in music history that I always thought were really interesting. Like Les Paul and Mary Ford. Does anyone know who Les Paul is? I guess I'm assuming you know who he is.
Yes, of course I know who he is.
But him and Mary Ford used to do this, two-part. It was his wife at the time, and they would do a two-part, song type thing. And this was right before.
And Hamilton does know bread.
He does know bread. Yes, 1970. That's a very good song. It's one of the most beautiful songs ever. I gotta let Stryker hear it sometime. But Les Paul and Mary Ford, they had a two-part act that was going on. That they invented their own sound. It was really interesting. It was more of a bubbly, really fast guitar shredding type sound, but it was really high, like a bright sound. It wasn't just like a. This was about 1952 when they started doing this. It was right before rock and roll came to the scene. It was rock and roll existed, but it was it was really only within the African American communities.
And the tone of his guitar would eventually lead on to the creation of the Les Paul guitar that we know today.
Indeed, and that's
classic.
Yes, and that is the guitar that he played. And basically, him and Mary Ford would do this two-part act, and they did some great songs. I have a CD from them, like their greatest hits. And there's actually a documentary about this whole thing. It's really interesting. So they did this. They were on top of the world. They invented their own sound, and they thought that this would be the definitive sound of music for years to come. Well, they were completely wrong because rock and roll hit the scene. And the bottom dropped out for them. Like nobody wanted to listen to them anymore. As soon as rock and roll came on the scene, seemed like no, that's not the, this is the real sound of your future. That's what people said. And Mary Ford ended up leaving him because they, Les Paul was obsessed with regaining his popularity. And of course, he worked till the day he died. He was a very hardworking man. He was very devoted to his craft. He's credited with inventing the electric guitar. He didn't make the first one, but he invented the concept of an electric guitar by taking a railroad track and, and I don't remember exactly what he did, but he amplified the vibrations in a railroad track hooked up to strings when he was, just a boy. And he, his mother said something that really killed his spirit. She said, "The day I see a folk singer playing a railroad track, that'll be the day," And that really killed his spirits. And then later, I think it was Leo Fender that actually patented the first electric guitar.
Yeah.
But Les Paul is credited with inventing the concept of it, I always thought that was really interesting. Anyways, another little history lesson for you guys.
Back in the day, the guy who founded what we know about electricity, Faraday, the investors were a little, skeptical about it, and he said something along the lines of, "I don't know what applications this might have in the future, but I can guarantee you that you will tax it."
Yes, indeed. Because I don't remember who said it, but I think it was Benjamin Franklin. He said, "There's only two things you can be certain of in this world: death and taxes."
Yep.
Was that Benjamin Franklin
Yep.
who said that? Yeah. No matter what you do, you cannot escape taxes. So, if you buy anything, it'll be taxed. If you work, they always take a little bit out of your paycheck every month, every time you get a paycheck, really. So, you pay for all the government stuff whether you want to or not, really. Let's just say, if you work for a company, they will always take, tax out of your paycheck.
Yep.
And obviously, if you work for Mrs. O'Leary down the road and shovel her walkway, she'll give you $5, and that's not taxed, obviously. But
guess I don't need to know about it.
Because it's under the table money.
Yes. Yes.
Mrs. O'Leary needs her walkway shoveled. She's going to give you some money, and it's not going to be taxed. Just under the table. How do you like my Irish accent?
It's very nice.
I've never really attempted an Irish accent before. That went better than I thought it would. Yeah. Every time I hear, I work at a grocery store, and every time I walk past the potatoes, the frozen potatoes, I always see Potatoes O'Brien, and I think,
Potatoes O'Brien.
Potatoes O'Brien,
Yeah.
I just think that's the only way I can pronounce it in my head is Potatoes O'Brien.
Brian.
Like an Irishman. Yeah. Anyways, speaking of Irishmen, we can continue on the subject of our very, very random discussions. Do you know the actual origin of St. Patrick's Day?
I did at one point. Completely forgot.
Basically, they celebrate.
I'm betting a priest had something to do with it.
Oh yeah. It was. I'm pretty sure that it was St. Patrick, who was actually born in England. He wasn't from Ireland, and he came to Ireland and brought Catholicism to the Emerald Isle or something like that, and he supposedly chased. A lot of people say that he supposedly chased the snakes away, and we're not exactly sure what that was. But, basically
voodoo magic.
That's probably what it was. Something like that. And, basically he was credited with bringing Catholicism to, the Emerald Isle. And, people, for some reason, for Americans, it's just the celebration of Irish culture, which is how I celebrate it,
and
too.
Drinking and leprechauns.
But in Ireland, they just celebrate, being together, and they have feasts, the St. Patrick's Day feast, and it's like a huge thing for them. But in America, we just celebrate. You know, everyone's a little bit Irish. On St.
Everybody
Patrick's
gets
Day.
drunk,
Everybody gets drunk, including me on St. Patrick's Day.
including the
Pretty crazy.
dogs get drunk.
And you know, I guess, recently I haven't been drinking hardly at all because of like very similar things happened to me with alcohol. That's very similar to what just happened to me last night. You know, where I've had traumatic experiences. Only alcohol it's a little bit different because you really have no control over. You know, well, I guess I had barely any control over what I was saying when I was, you know, my body was traumatized after what I did last night. But, you know, similar things happen with alcohol. When you drink too much is where you start, you know, losing grip of reality and losing control of everything that's around you, you know. And I don't like that. I never have. And sometimes it takes a big slap in the face like that to be careful with alcohol. You know, you can hear all this stuff like, you know, oh, you really shouldn't drink too much, you know, it's bad for you. And people say, oh, I'm sure I'll be fine. Well, it takes something like this, like I said, to really kick people in the pants and you know, get their life back on track.
You gotta stay hydrated when you.
Yes, you do. I've been drinking a lot of water recently. You know, last night when my friends were taking care of me, that one of the things they were giving me is crackers and water, you know, just to keep me sane. So,
And an occasional slap in the face.
yeah. I was the funny part about it was I could tell I was telling the absolute truth down to the depths of my soul. Like, you know, I was saying things that I never would have said if I was sober, but it was all 100% true. Like, I wasn't making up stuff. It was all, you know, what was actually in deep down in my soul. And I said to them, like, while I was
down in your soul.
and I was. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And I said to them, I realized this was happening, and I said to them, "Is there anything you guys ever wanted to know about me? You know, now is the time to ask because I cannot lie right now." And they had so much respect for me. They were like, "No, I'm not going to take advantage of you." And I
Who
really
the fuck
respect
needs
them for
sodium
that.
pentothal when you can just cram weed down their throats?
But yeah, for those of you who are concerned, I definitely will be more careful in the future with this stuff.
And then it was good that you were around friends when you're doing it.
It was what?
It's good that you're around friends when you're
Yes.
people that you trust.
Definitely.
Yes.
And obviously my sister would have done it too, but it was very good that all my friends were there to help me, you know.
Yeah.
So I was very thankful for that. It really brought us all closer. It must have been a traumatic experience for them seeing me like that, but I think I texted them in the morning and said, you know, thank you guys for dealing with me like that. And, you know, they were like, it's fine. You're our friend and we'll do anything to help you. So I'm very lucky to have them as good friends of mine. So yeah. How about them Mets? I swear I'm not hallucinating.
Meh.
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 Meh to the Mets.
Meh.
I'm the same way. I don't follow any kind of sports, but I just like to say that when, you know,
Meh.
just to kind of throw something out there when everything is stopped, you know. So as Simon and Garfunkel said, the angry conversations.
Yes. Meh.
Meh. So can we think of a discussion topic for tonight?
I forgot.
Did you actually have one in mind?
I almost did. And then it ran away and screaming and yelling, then silence. Son of forgiveness is screaming and followed by silence.
I think if we take another 9 minutes, we can then take a 10-minute break and we can kinda come up with something. But in another 9 minutes, so we can do it at exactly. Oh, excuse me. We can do it at like precisely 6 p.m. Central.
Yes.
You know? Meanwhile,
if you want to call in and
there's the contact
have
info.
have a little chat with us, there's
there's contact
get a
info.
hold of us on Skype.
And if you want to email us during the show, we will have our inbox open the whole time. And if you email us, we will see it because we will be refreshing the page. We will, if you guys just want to send us a shout out, say hi, or give us a discussion topic, you're more than welcome to email us at the contact info there, strikepod.studios@gmail.com. So thank you all for joining us. I guess we could go. We could talk for a little bit longer. Before we go.
We can talk. We can just make noise until 8 for another 8 minutes.
Okay.
How
was that?
That's, well, let's just edit that out and then make a loop of it.
Be like, this is the filler we have when we don't have anything to talk about in the air. This is where your improv skills really, really come in handy, honestly. In acting school, we've really, really practiced improv. And it's not as easy as it sounds, coming up with something to say right on the spot and going with it. So,
yeah, But it comes in handy if should some walrus walk through the door and try to rape you.
Try to rape you. Oh,
you're supposed to be able to keep a straight face when you're doing improv. You have failed.
No. I mean, this is radio. You're supposed to laugh and make your audience laugh with you.
It's funnier if you sound serious.
I don't
about
know.
a walrus walking through the door and raping you.
I think it's impossible for me to stay serious at this point.
Well, then you fail.
Well, there's a different kind of improv. If I was acting, like... Oh, sorry, I'm pulling on the cord. If I was actually acting on stage...
That's not the only thing you're pulling on. Giggity. You see that? I'm doing improv.
Well, no, say if I was acting... See, the actual heart to improv is coming up with something and making a completely huge distraction off of it. Like, it doesn't have to be specifically, throwing random stuff out there. It can be starting from something like a little tiny spark of an idea and building it into an elaborate story. That's what improv is,
Which sometimes requires you to be extremely stoned.
Yes, it does.
It ends the way it starts.
Yup.
Starts the way it ends.
Starts the way it ends. And, radio is very similar. If you're going to do improv on radio, it's very similar, but, you have to actually have a structure, like a plot structure, if you're going to have good improv. Like, okay, do you want to start with, let's say that me and Stryker are sitting here. We'll tell you a story, by the way. This is what I'm doing. And we see a walrus walk in here, and he says... Good day, gentlemen. And we say, good day, walrus. That's a very cute bow you have on your head, isn't it? He says, yes, why thank you very much, although it should concern you that I am a boy, even though I'm wearing a bow.
Well, it would concern me that you're walking upright on land and seemingly not having any problems getting around.
And he says, well, that's because I've been exposed to the BP oil spill. And that has mutated my brain and made me a sentient human being, only with the body of a walrus, and also seems to be confused by my gender.
Are you also a Viking?
I have never been a Viking in my life, sir. Although I will say that I have some Viking heritage, and sometimes I have flashbacks where I think that I'm a Viking, so I guess you could say, sir, that I have been a Viking. I guess this is like a cross. The voice right here is a cross between Jamie Heineman, who is a walrus, and what's his name? Alfred Hitchcock. Because I've been watching a lot of Alfred Hitchcock, and that's how he talks. He's like, tonight's program is very, very interesting. It's a tale of drama and murder and suspense
and weed.
Okay, so anyways, this walrus walks into here and he's like...
And he's completely hammered.
And he's completely hammered and he says, I do say, sir, that I would very much enjoy the raping of that wonderful gentleman over there who's wearing the hat. And I say, oh, you mean this guy? He says, no, the gentleman that looks an awful lot like Bob Dylan. And I say, well, you wouldn't be happen to be talking about me, would you? And he says, why, yes, indeed, I would be talking about you, as in fact, you are wearing the hat right now. And I'd say, well, yes, indeed, I am wearing the hat. And he says, I would very much like, sir, if I would rape you, and you would submit and bite the pillow because I'm going in dry. And I say, well, that wouldn't be very nice at all, love, wouldn't it? And he says, why are you mocking me? I'm only simply here to rape you. And he says, by the way, you're tripping out on acid. And I say, whoa, really? And then I look over, and there's no walrus. And all I can see right next to me is Stryker rocking me back and forth going, dude, are you okay? You've been saying some weird things. And I say, I'm okay now. But I just saw a walrus, and he wanted to rape me. And he had a bow.
Makes some sense, man!
And I say, what was in that stuff that I had last night? And you would say, I do believe it was like...
It was a half pound of acid with a tequila chaser.
A tequila chaser in marijuana?
Acid.
Oh, I see. And then you proceed to say...
And you were eating shrooms as an appetizer.
Yes.
I don't even know how that's even physically capable. I don't know why are you still alive?
And then Stryker looks at me and he says, and suddenly he has the voice of the walrus, and he says,
why?
my good sir, I do believe that you are dying. And I say, you mean I'm tripping out? He said, no, you're dying of a drug overdose. And then I die. And that's the end of Dante Padfoot. The last thing he saw was a walrus that wanted to rape him. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is improv. How did you like that?
I will not ever be able to sleep ever again.
You know what we need to do? Take that little piece from the episode and save it as a separate file and upload it to YouTube and say,
Yes.
this is Dante Padfoot and Stryker Chiguar.
Highlight
improv.
If you're on Ustream, making highlight clips of our videos is enabled. So if you want to do that, just go to the recording and make a clip of it and upload it to YouTube.
But yeah, anyways, the story I just told was mostly in the style of Alfred Hitchcock, like the suspense and strange stuff that reveals to be like, this is how most of his stories are, is where you won't really know just when you think you know what's going on,
You don't know.
he'll slap you in the face with somebody that walks up to the camera and says, I killed him, and then it'll fade out and it'll be Alfred Hitchcock standing there going, wasn't that a lovely story? And that's how it is, really. So, that was basically improv. That's how you do improv. And I don't think I've ever done improv as well as I guess I've done it better at the school. Like, we actually do games where we'll have everyone doing improv in a circle, and it's pretty awesome, actually, with all these actors who actually are taught how to do this stuff. So
Anyway, it is time for our break.
it is time for our break. It seems it is 6 p.m. You want to put the contact info up there again?
Yes, we shall do that, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in 10 minutes. But, however, if you want to email us a suggestion, a topic to talk about, or if you simply just want to, say hi, tell us your name, and tell us that you're watching, you could either just go in either the IRC chat, you could go into the chat on the Ustream, or our preferred method is that you send us an email. Right there is the contact info that's right in front of your very eyes. It's strikepod.studios@gmail.com.
Oh, we actually have a question we should answer once we return from the break.
Okay.
From Hematite.
Hematite Bear says, who was the coolest furry you meet?
Save for after the break.
Save it for after the break?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back in 10 minutes at precisely 6:10 or 6:09 p.m. Central Time. So we will be back in a little while. Thank you for watching, and don't change the channel.
place I love. I keep the slave of neon colors. Here on the wastelands, I don't wanna be a well-fed dog. I drove before Toledo, dying is lonely but never yours. To believe I need you on your fucking carrying case. You're not a god, you're just an assassin. Ignorance is the enemy of my peace. I know you hear the sound of my scream. The voice of all the wolves that are not anymore here. Please don't blaspheme when I'm only moving. Take your heart and we can build in my dream. Here in the wastelands, I don't wanna be a well-fed dog. I drove you for Toledo, dying is lonely but never yours. Welcome back to the fabulous, the one and only Closet Convo. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, you have reached our discussion topic portion of the show. Everyone's favorite time to get out what they're thinking and throw
The
out
music
their
was
2
too loud for anyone to hear you.
cents. Really?
Yes.
You want me to start over?
Yes.
Oh, hello there. I didn't see you walk in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the fabulous, the one and only Closet Convo, back from our 10-minute break. We have been thinking of a discussion topic, and we did come up with one, but it'll definitely have to branch off into another one. So again, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, you have reached our discussion topic portion of the show, where everyone gets to throw out their 2 cents. Or, you know, hopefully people in the chat room will throw out their 2 cents as we go. So, our discussion topic for today, it's not going to be very long, but it might branch off into a few other subjects, but we'll probably end up closing it off around 6:30 or
But
so.
first, we have
the question,
The
yes.
question, yes. What's the coolest furry you've met?
Who's the coolest furry you've ever met? Like as in, you know, like an awesome person to hang out with? Is that what you mean? Because if that is, I don't know. Apart from myself, I'm just kidding. It's hard to describe. I mean, I haven't really met any other furries that I consider better than others. You know, it's just not the way I think. You know, I think everyone, you know, who's nice to me, I think of them all the same way.
Well, I tell you, one person that I met at, I actually knew him online for a long time, and finally got to meet him at MFF. Preacher Wolf.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we hung out pretty much the whole con, and
Cool.
it was great. He's great to hang out with.
Huh.
He's a suitor.
Oh, nice. It's always awesome to hang out with suitors, isn't it? That's what I did. MFF 2011. I guess I could answer the question by saying, what's his name? Rhubarb the Bear. Okay, he's pretty popular in the furry fandom. He records songs and stuff like that. But he's really, really, like, his whole life revolves around performing arts, just like mine does. He runs, a radio station. Well, he doesn't run one. He's a DJ for a radio station, and I met him at the con because I had a guitar and he also had a guitar, and we started talking. And he was a real nice guy. He had a friend with him. Let's see, I forgot what his name was. But his friend was in the army, and he actually he had an injury in the army where he was near a grenade, and it permanently damaged when it went off, and it permanently damaged his nerves with his hands, so he can't draw because his hands are always shaking. It's really neat, the people that I meet at cons. But the coolest one I ever met was definitely Rhubarb the Bear. He was so awesome. Like I said, the main reason he was so awesome to me was because his life revolved around the performing arts, which mine does too. Any kind of performing arts you can. So I always thought that was really neato, meeting that guy. I hope to see him at the next con I go to. But anyways, for the discussion topic today, we have we're going to discuss the psychological side of becoming your character, and we can also poke at it could be defined as a mental disorder if you actually think about it, like a mild mental disorder, because this is what's been going on with me. Where we could discuss the idea that
You are a mental disorder.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But we could go into discussion about the idea that someone will become their character to escape reality.
Yeah, and
if they get tired of it.
we talked about this a little bit on the last show.
We did, in
mental
fact.
shifts.
We did mental shifts. Yes, we did.
Which would be on YouTube, but for some reason YouTube is not accepting the file.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I don't know what the deal is there. So.
Huh. So we don't have last episode up on YouTube.
It's not on YouTube, but it's still on Ustream until
Okay.
we run out of space again.
And then we have to delete the old episodes. So
Yeah.
On Ustream, you'll probably only be able to see the last 7 episodes, something like that. 5.
Probably the last 5 or 6 episodes. I cleaned it out again recently, so.
Okay. But yeah, if you ever want to see any of the old episodes, you can look on
On our Ustream.
Strike Paw Studios on YouTube. 'Cause
No.
that's where we upload all this stuff. Is that the name of it?
That's our YouTube.
Okie doke.
But the most recent episodes are still on Ustream.
Yeah. But I
But
said,
I'm trying to get all the episodes on YouTube.
yeah. Do you think it'll ever be possible to put the episode? What was it? The previous one we did, 15.
Yeah. 15. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if that'll be like a big missing.
I think that's just I think you has something to do with YouTube. All the changes that YouTube's always doing.
Yeah.
It might go away after a while, and might be able to try again later. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Because usually I upload it directly from Ustream rather than from the computer. So.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, if you guys want to watch the old ones, you can definitely go on to the YouTube.
I got a PM. Hang on.
You can go on the YouTube
I
machine.
gotta close some tabs here. And
All right. Do you want to put a link to it or something? The YouTube channel. And we do upload the episodes as soon as we're done with them, as soon as we can.
Okay, but in the Ustream chat, the PM tab is not showing up.
Oh.
So
Well, that's a bummer. Ain't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, we can-
Hence one of the many reasons why we're trying to migrate over to the IRC,
Indeed.
which is
But yeah.
linked on the TuneIn tab of clausandconvo.blogspot.com.
Which is our website, and just to mention this again, our website is
Post
the best place to watch the show and to get updates on it, and for all the links and everything. So,
Post-mortem tab.
what was that?
Haven't I said post-mortem tab? Apparently that's what PM stands for.
Oh, really? I thought it was private message.
I was trying to get the interview with Mika started.
That'd be pretty cool. So, yep. We can go into the discussion topic if you're just about ready.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay, let's start by asking the question: do you think that furries? This has probably happened before, but we probably mentioned this before. But do you think that some furries will mentally become their character to escape reality if something either makes them mad or depressed or something like that? Which I would argue, yes, that does indeed happen. I don't know if it's a mental disorder or if it's just letting your imagination run wild, because it can be two separate things or it can be the same thing.
No, but the thing is, that it's not a problem until it impedes your ability to recognize reality.
Yeah,
You gotta be
that's
aware.
very true.
You have to be aware of. As long as you're aware that you are still human, that eats that has a human diet that requires 6 hours of sleep,
Don't go trying to eat any rabbits or anything like that, or
and
dog food.
has no natural hunting weapons. Yeah.
Yeah,
As long as you're aware of that, knock yourself out. Go crazy.
couldn't have said it better myself, actually. That's very true. As long as you maintain
Have
your
fun.
consciousness.
I've actually had more mental shifts myself more lately. Like try to get snared in my headphone cable.
That sucks.
Cut my chair. No.
You've heard of tangled headphones, but have you heard of snagged headphones that try to wrap themselves around your neck and kill you? Yup. Stryker is dead, ladies and gentlemen. You can leave now. Oh, he's twitching. That's just his body reacting to what it should. Ah! You jerk! That was on purpose! He's dead, ladies and gentlemen. Headphones killed him. Anyways, but yeah, I guess...
But my corpse retains my inert rage.
But yeah, I guess to go back on the subject though, I definitely have these mental shifts, but they're not as strong. They're not strong that I actually think that I'm an anthropomorphic animal. My personality just becomes my character is what it is. Like I just have a shift in personality. Like I don't actually believe, like I said before, I don't actually believe that I'm an animal. I sit there and think, I'm just acting like my character would, I react to everything like my character would, which is basically just the more quiet and observant side of me, and like the calm, and just likes to get everything outside of me, by being alone. And I'll do this a lot. I'll just go for a walk, kind of just be away from people while I'm on one of my shifts, and this, I guess I define it as a slight mental disorder. Just when I tell people about it, the only people I've told is my close friends, like the people that took care of me last night. Those are the only ones that know.
When I go through a shift, I sometimes become more playful.
Yeah, a lot of people's characters are like that.
Which isn't actually inherent of my persona, but rather just of the species of
Yeah.
of a cheetah.
Exactly. And foxes, I do act much more like a fox when I'm on a shift, though, because I will just like want to be away from everything and just like I'll be just because foxes have been known to just like walk around in the nighttime in urban cities, just curiously, just looking at everything and just being all curious, and then they'll just go back to their fox den.
Yep.
So they don't cause trouble. They don't, well, I guess if there was a chicken coop, yeah, they'd cause trouble, but but you're not about to see me rob any chicken coops. At least I hope not. But yeah, this goes along with the site we mentioned in several episodes earlier, where we found that site that if you pay them some money, they will hypnotize you into thinking you're your character, or actually thinking you're an anthropomorphic animal. And I think that's now that I've actually experienced something like that, it's I actually think that it could be possible, At least I think so. But it's very interesting. It's a very interesting subject to kind of tap into.
Crying out loud. Look at the shot list.
3 shots?
You see what happened there?
What?
Do you see anything missing there?
The credits?
Nope, that's not it.
Our shot?
Yeah.
The shot of our faces?
It happened to... Luckily it didn't go live, but...
Yeah. Luckily you can still see us, and I can still see the audio bar bouncing up and down, so I know that you guys can hear us, but, we've been known to have a lot of technical difficulties on Claws and Convo in the past. It's either because of my crappy internet, or Ustream just likes to freak the heck out, They'll just be like, oh man, something's going on, I better just lose the feed for the camera all of a sudden, I don't know. Weird stuff happens.
Something's causing the feed on the camera shot to go...
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And we haven't really figured it out. I'm pretty sure my computer, is self-aware and just wants to...
Your computer is stoned.
My computer is stoned.
Yes.
And that's what's going on. So... But yeah, let's see. Another subject we can delve into. Let's see. I know I had something that I wanted to talk about. Does anyone in the chat room have anything to say about this subject? You can add on to it, and you should probably double check the email inbox to see if there's any emails. Just before we move on, somebody would wanted to send us a discussion topic. Refresh.
Nothing.
Shame on you guys.
Don't belittle the audience. They will riot.
How would 3 people riot?
It would be very small and insignificant, but torches and pitchforks there would be.
You know what? You're right. Be like, I thought you really cared about us. Nope. We love you, audience, but you need to send us more emails. I hope I didn't offend anybody. Whatever. I'm still delusional. So, is there any other discussion topics we'd like to talk about, though? I'm going to try to come up with something off the top of my head. Because I haven't really had the time to prepare. I have been having fun.
Nope.
I have been having fun munching on cake Oreos, though. Birthday cake Oreos. That's all I was
And
really
you
doing.
didn't save me any.
There was 2 left.
No.
I guess I could have saved you 1. I'm sorry. I should have saved you 1. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
I didn't even think about it. I was just eating them, and it was like, oh, wait. Anyways, so I probably should have been spending more time during the break just thinking of something to say, but no, I was just munching on cake Oreos.
You had the munchies.
Yeah, that's true. I still got the munchies. Because there's still a little bit of whatever it is in my brain, It'll take me until tomorrow to completely recover.
Look, there's a piece of your brain over there.
That's where it is.
And there's another chunk over there.
Oh, man, I'm freaking out, man. I can see my brains everywhere.
So
All right. Let's see.
I did make. I got a bunch of business cards like this.
Oh, cool. Oh man.
Yeah.
Do you want me to like hold it closer to the camera so they can?
Of course, there's crap. There's. I printed it on the backside too because it missed. Because I got the alignment messed up. But I decided to use them anyway because flip them out to show the messed up backside. Yeah. I'm trying to just. I messed up the first run, got the alignment messed up because my printer is a piece of crap. But
anyways,
I decided
really
that reflected our crappy budget, so I just went ahead and reused the sheet anyway. Fuck it.
Our budget is so small that we have to use the same piece of cardboard paper or card stock, whatever it's called. That's really awesome that we got our own card.
I've got a stack that's printed on newsprint.
Oh, really?
And that's another one that's a test back on the back of a test page.
Huh.
Not really, but
that's really cool. We need to go. Actually, there's places here in Ottumwa where we can get a bunch of them made. We can get business cards printed out, and that would be really cool to have those. If somebody ever asks, oh, you run a podcast, I'll be like, yeah, here you go.
I actually handed a few of these out at work.
Oh, really?
So there might be a few coworkers watching, possibly.
That's pretty cool.
Possibly.
Why, hello there to Mr. Striker Chigwar's co-workers. It's very nice to see you. If any of you are joining us today, it's we appreciate that you stopped by. So it's always nice to get some new people watching. Yeah. So, well, it seems I have run out of things to talk about, and I need to rest really badly, and probably watch some more Alfred Hitchcock and fall asleep. But next week,
the Skype line is open, so you've still got time if you have something to say.
Okay. Yep, you still got time if you want to call in just to say hi, But if you don't...
Yes, I do have a monitor dedicated to chat.
Oh, right.
But it's kind of out of my field of view.
Alrighty then. Well, I guess we'll give you another minute for anyone to call in if they want to say hi. We have quite a few people added on Skype that, might like to say hi or something. So we understand, this episode probably wasn't quite as entertaining as it could have been. Obviously it wasn't a full episode. But, the show must go on, so I just, we got up and just tried our best. And
I'll stick around for a little longer.
Okay. That sounds about right. What are you going to talk about?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well then, do you,
I might just cut the recording and do an after show. Maybe. I don't know.
Good.
Just whatever.
And then this will be, it'll be the end of the episode, and then you can, if you guys want to just hang around and just chat with Stryker, you can do that. If you got nothing else to do. Because we did end quite early today. 6:30 is.
So Mika, if you still want to do an interview, and you've got a few minutes to get on Skype and get going. Otherwise,
if you want,
do it later. Do it next week.
We could do it next week if you feel like that's better.
That would be better.
Next week, I will be much more on top of things. I promise.
You will be sober.
I will be completely sober. Sober. Next week, I'll definitely be myself again. But today,
you'll be alive.
I'll be a lot more alive. Today, I just haven't been myself completely because, obviously I told the story.
You're in space.
I'm having an out-of-body experience. Actually, I did. I really did. Space. But yeah, anyways, I guess this concludes the official episode. This was episode 16, I believe. So, I'm going to sign off here pretty quick, but like I said, you guys can stay a little while and talk to Stryker if you want to. You can just chat or something, but, it'll be the after show. So, we thank you guys so very much for joining us. Next week, we would definitely appreciate you guys tuning in next week. Same time, same channel.
So the interview with Miko is about, what is this, Finlandia Con.
Oh, okay. Is it an upcoming convention?
It is it's a past convention.
Oh, okay. But yeah, actually, it
A
would be
recent
better.
one.
It would be better if we did the interview next week, because then we could actually come up with some like actual questions to ask you. We have a couple of questions to ask you, but it'd be better if we had time to prepare, because it's going to be an intro, and it'd be better if I was feeling myself again, So next week I'll be back again to entertain you, and so will Mr. Striker Chiguar. We thank you guys so very much for joining us. Once again, you can stay a little bit later to hang out with Striker. But in the meantime, this concludes episode 16. We hope to see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. I have been your foxy and delirious host, Dante Padfoot.
I have been your sober-ish host, Striker Cheatwire.
Ish. So once more, we thank you guys for joining us, and we hope you have a wonderful week.
Ish makes everything funnier.
Just a little bit funnier. Yes, it does. Thanks very much, you guys. We'll see you next week. Peace and death to tyrants.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. We have to fix that.
No, we don't.